An Iraqi cameraman films yet another Baghdad funeral, but this time it's his colleague. One of more than 180 journalists and media workers who've paid the ultimate price covering the news since the war began, according to the group Reporters Without Borders. The victims are overwhelmingly Iraqi. After all, it's mainly the Iraqis who can get this close to the violence on the streets. This close to the danger. From the obvious danger of bombs and bullets to the sinister threat from insurgents and militias. One of the latest victims, 44-year-old Saha Hussein Ali al-Haidari, an Iraqi correspondent in Mosul. Al-Haidari had survived 2 abduction attempts and numerous death threats. Those who answered her mobile phone after the killing told the caller she's gone to hell, according to the Committee to Protect Journalists. Zainab is also a female Iraqi journalist. Zainab is not her real name. She's too scared to be identified, lest she too become a target. In her articles, she uses a false name.
But what interests me really, that I'm afraid if they kidnap me and the torture, it's difficult for them. And that's only what I'm afraid it really. If they kill me, okay, it's nothing.
Zainab drives herself around Baghdad, covering her head to try and blend in. But the very fact she is a woman driving alone puts her at risk.
The journalist and female journalist, it's double problem.
Her neighbours don't know she's a journalist. Her family doesn't know she still goes out onto the streets to find information. Zainab was a journalist under Saddam Hussein's regime. She says back then it was simple.
Before we know it, we're dealing with whom? We know the challenge comes from which places. Now it's coming in any places. We don't know it also. Before we know it that we are crossing this line, that means we are facing the dangers.
Many Iraqi journalists have lost a friend or a colleague to the violence. Others have fled the country. The risks simply becoming too great.
There have been more journalists killed in 4 years in Iraq than during 20 years of war in Vietnam. The traditional status of a journalist as a neutral observer of a war, unharmed by either side, is long gone. The Committee to Protect Journalists say that most of the journalists killed here in Iraq were specifically targeted. Paula Hancock's CNN, Baghdad.